If you ask me, Bonnie and Clyde has been calling out for a second chance ever since its original Broadway production closed over 10 years ago. I always thought it would work really well over here, and I'm glad to be proven right with this production. Bonnie and Clyde is a musical based on the story of waitress Bonnie Parker who falls in love with the criminal Clyde Barrow, and with the background of poverty-stricken America, they become notable figures as they drive and steal together. Coming directly from the concert version that played at the Drury Lane in January this year, Nick Winston directs and choreographs this production, which keeps the best moments of the concert staging while also building on it. It was obvious that the concert was a test run of sorts, but the old adage goes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. The direction and staging is extremely slick and keeps the production's pace incredibly well. From When I Drive, which builds the brotherly relationship of Buck and Clyde, which is fantastically staged around just this single tire that the two brothers play around with and jump on top of and swing around and pretend they're driving with, to the more still songs like Bonnie's How About a Dance, or even the song Bonnie, which is really simply staged with just Clyde serenading Bonnie in a bathtub. Every number and scene is staged in really interesting and different ways that gives a lot of variation. And also, it makes the pretty small theatre that it's in feel so much wider than it actually is. Frank Wildhorn and Don Black's score is so varied in musical styles, which helps reflect the time period of the musical. From jazz to gospel, the variation helps each song feel different. My favourites being Picture Show, which uses the young versions of our leads to set up personal ambitions, a different way to do the typical I Want song. Too Late to Turn Back Now, which is a very upbeat number that comes early into Act 2, as Bonnie has second thoughts on her new lifestyle. And then of course Dying Ain't So Bad, which is just so moving as sung by Mayli McCann, as Bonnie expresses contentedness about her inevitable fate. It's also interesting to note that there is a new song that they have placed in Act 1. This song is between Ted and Bonnie as they reflect on their childhood. Now, I say new in quotations because it is a reworked version of a previously cut song. This never happened before. My thoughts on this song? I like the song itself. I don't think it's needed, though. I think it slows down the pace unnecessarily. I think everything that we get in this new song, we get in pretty much the next song in the show. Like, we get all of Ted's and Bonnie's backstory in You Can Do Better Than Me, which, in my opinion, is a better song. So the placement's a bit weird, especially in the more top-heavy act. To put another thing in there does slow down the pace a bit too much. The show also, interestingly, decides not to give us a big finale. Bonnie and Clyde didn't get a big finale. They didn't get one last moment. They were gunned down in their car. So to reflect this with a very subtle instrumental instead of a big finale is really, really clever. It's the big finale, the last moment of being with our two leads being taken away from us, just as life was taken away from Bonnie and Clyde. Now, let's talk about how fantastic this cast is. First, let's explore the actors who reprise their role from the concert version, starting with Mayli McCann, who I think is just perfect as Bonnie. Her voice is stunning, it fits into her range so well. It's almost like it was written for her, that's how perfect it is. And I think it's also interesting to note what McCann mentions in the programme, where she talks about how this role was perfect for her, how it always fit into her range, and how she thought she'd never get the role because of her ethnicity. George Mcguire is great as Buck. He plays like a really nice straight man to like the over-dramatic Blanche, his wife, extremely well. And he also gets many chances to show off just how great his vocals are in When I Drive and through the harmonies in Raise a Little Bit of Hell. Raise a little bit of hell. Raise just a little bit of hell. He shows off how great his vocals are in songs like When I Drive and through the different harmonies that he gets to do with the other leading actors in Raise a Little Hell reprise. But Natalie Mcqueen. Here is an Olivier. Give this Olivier to Natalie Mcqueen right now, because she honestly deserves it so much. She puts everything into this role. She is so perfectly cast, and she somehow elevates her already hilarious performance from the concert really, really well. She finds comedy in every single moment that she's on stage, and she's definitely the standout in even such a strong cast. There are two newcomers to the leads, and that is, of course, Jordan Luke Gage as Clyde and Cleve September as Ted. I almost said Bonnie. That'd be fun. Gage is a fantastic Clyde, and he kind of channels similar energy to when he was JD in Heathers. Gives a great blend of that lover boy side of Clyde, but also the rage and anger and the darker moments behind it, especially in a song like Raise a Little Hell. And September uses every moment on stage to show how talented a performer he is. He gets one of the roles in the show that I personally feel is a little bit understated and doesn't get as much to do or as many chances to show himself off. However, Cleve uses the certain moments that he gets to add some like beautiful variations and riffs. Especially in You Can Do Better Than Him, it elevated one of the songs to become one of my favourites, even though I've often looked over the song, especially when listening to the cast recording. Of course, it's a shame that the show doesn't do more with his character, and I understand that this production did try with the new song, even if it's not a direction I thought necessary, but the moments that September does get are incredible. On the whole, Bonnie and Clyde is a musical that, you know, after failing a few times, has finally got a bigger chance to prove itself and prove its worth on the West End. This production is slick, full of great and funny performances. I really hope this production does well, because after 10 years waiting, I think the world finally deserves to raise a little hell with Bonnie and Clyde. So, what are your thoughts on Bonnie and Clyde? Have you seen it? Did you enjoy it? Are you excited to see it? Are you excited not to see it? Let me know. Put it in the comments. But if you are going to do anything, you could hit that subscribe button. Isn't it sexy? Isn't it looking at you temptingly with gazing eyes, beautiful blinks? Wow, click it. And also click that like button. That would be pretty cool. But until next time, I've been Ellie. I've just talked theatre at you. Bon appetit. I need to come up with a better outro.